After thousands of laps in the Aston Martin GT3 on different simulations, I will exactly point out where Project Motor Racing stands. And it's already ahead of some of them. Now, I will not hype this simulation. I will tell you the story, how I got in the private room with them to test out different things. If you're searching for a review video on how much cars you can pick, the tracks, and the superficial jargon normally you will see, that is not this video. I got very specific on a certain area, talked with the developers, and in the end of the video, I'll explain and show why I think this sim might be ahead of some of them already. Before I go into the feel, physics, and overall car behavior in the game, I want to point out that the people that create racing simulators are absolute hero from the get-go. Without them, we wouldn't have simulation racing, so I think it's already good to cheer for people if they even start out creating something new. So I tested Project Motor Racing on the Expo this year and I got invited by email. But they only allowed me to do it on a controller and I declined. Then we went on the expo itself and I got a little bit bold and I was hitting that private room door and I forced myself a little bit into that area, kind of demanding that I should get a spot on the actual sim. So with some persuasion they agreed and the next day I could start to test. Now the absolutely first moment I got in the sim rig, I was kind of like not feeling it. And it took me about 30 minutes to figure out what was actually happening. My brake pedal was too soft. The force feedback was kind of numb. It was set very low. So after some tweaking with one of the devs in that room, we got it to work a lot better. I've driven thousands of laps on Spa and I did this a lot with the Aston Martin. So it only made sense for me to test out that car and to see how it compares to different simulations. To give you an overall impression on the feeling that I got was that the Aston Martin as of a baseline was understeery, which it kind of is always. Then when you take car physics, low transfer, throttle behavior, brake input behavior, and the overall feeling was I could not really find something that was off. Was it special and revolutionary? No. But there's also nothing to complain about. As I'm for the braking, when I have an aggressive steer lock and I bleed off trail braking as I lose aerodynamics, as mechanical grip starts to get more dominant as I'm entering corners, I can feel where I'm aggressive, I kind of overdo it and I feel some oversteer and the car is kind of like, my harsh inputs punish the behavior. Also on the throttle, when I'm really harsh on throttle, the rear steps out quite aggressively. Again, I wasn't testing any traction control settings, but just the overall feel as of for high downforce car squatting into its spring travel, that all felt very natural and I wouldn't say that there's something off there. Now here's the part of the video that some might be really interested in. So I have this understeer on Eau Rouge and on the Blasimo corner. And if you look at my car setup, ultimate car setup guide, the art of car setups, this is my first step in car setup building, how to get rid of this understeer. By the way, if you're interested, really interested in building your own car setups for GT3 car-like simulations, link down below. So when I entered that setup menu, I mean, I was so happy. Like how they set it up, it's not super complex, everything is there. And you could also set up your force feedback per car. Force feedback per car. That's just a sign that they listen to the community. Force feedback settings per car. I mean, they're already like 2-0 ahead with just this setting. And also to share that with different people. Like these are my settings for the Aston Martin. Awesome. So back to changing that understeer. and I added the rear ride height. Now the rear ride heights were making steps of 5mm for one click. I spoke with their developers, and this is where it's really important. If you take anything from this video, you want to stick around what I'm gonna have to say here. So what I said to them, like, listen, if I make a click of this ride height change, I see 5mm change with one click. Not one simulation does this, and if aerodynamics are kind of like really sensitive, then you do 1 or 2mm at the time. And they were really listening to me about this, and they were already taking notes and whatever. And also when I changed the ride heights with 3cm, I didn't get rid of the understeer on the high speed. They said they were really listening, and they were like taking out notes, and they were like, this was something that I really liked, because they are actually wanting to get that feedback from me. And yeah, I'm expecting they're gonna change something about it. So I'm 100% sure nobody tested this. So maybe I helped them, maybe, but they could also, one of the developers already said they're gonna look at corner weight on the load that the tires will have on the high speed and all that stuff. So that was like music to my ears. We did set up the force feedback and brake pedal properly on a different rig in the same room, and I really felt the slow corner weight in the steering, and I could really feel the trail braking rewarding me for entering the corner properly and balancing the car with the brake pedal. That feeling I still miss in Le Mans Ultimate. So I think it's already ahead in that area.
Better. I signed up for the. I like this. Nice. You can see what I did with the brake and kind of like balancing it without too much steer on. Yeah. And you absolutely can like. I like this. I like that weight as well. On the steering. Yeah. No, I like how it like I'm impressed, man. I mean,
sure, there might be plenty of issues. There might be different experience with different cars. There might be different experiences with how the rigs were set up for people that did test it. But this is just my way of seeing it. There's one very important factor that I didn't mention, and that's the VR. It's going to be really important for me if the VR support will be there on launch. I have no information about this, if this is actually going to happen. But that will also, again, will be for me a major factor if this sim will succeed for me, yes or no. Now let's talk about, should you buy this sim? Well, if you are only thinking about yourself and you're a little bit of a narcissist, then don't do it. Wait for better reviews when it comes out, when the game kind of like might use some updates or gets improvements. Then you can make a calculated decision should you get it or not. If you're more concerned, like me, as a sim racing community supporter, then you should absolutely get it and start cheering for people who try to make our experience better. They need funding, they need buyers, they need proof of people wanting to support it, and then that way simulation can move forward as a whole. I hope that kind of gives you a very specific edge on how I look at Project Motor Racing. So yeah, if you like this kind of content, please hit that like button. If you have any comments for me or you want to add something to this, please do, because it's 1 hour of testing. It's very limited. So also I will make future videos when it comes out, what I think, and maybe I'll change my opinion completely. That's also still possible, because when you get into a simulation, it's like always love at first sight, you know? And you know how like love at first sight goes, yeah? In the beginning it's all nice, and in the end it can turn into a great marriage or an absolute disaster. Thanks for watching.